For the first time in a long time, SCRS Ferrari Challenge heads back to the United States of America, to the West Coast in Monterey. We're here at Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca for the next round of the SCRS Ferrari Challenge after a trip to the UK and to Spain at Catalonia last week in Barcelona. 3 incredible races we had there, Finian, but we return to this 11-turn road course in the West Coast in California, Northern California, and I'm really excited to get this one underway. We got a nice big field again. All the drivers that were new last week, Zach Buchanan's back for a second go at this tonight. So I'm really excited to get this one underway, and this is a fun racetrack. We were just talking right before the broadcast about the corkscrew, which you're looking at right there, a 4-story drop down a hill. It's a lot of fun, this place, and it's also quite treacherous with all the dirt and asphalt runoff.
Indeed, and it's definitely going to catch these guys off guard if they overstep their bounds, because with the lack of runoff and just complete sand to the outside, if you clip so much as clip some of it, you can go around for a loop. And we've seen in practice already, especially in the corkscrew, a lot of these guys having trouble.
So in just a moment, we'll take you down to qualifying. We've got almost 25, 30 cars here this evening for the next round of SCRS Ferrari Challenge. And here is a look at the course, Finian. It's 11 turns, and the course didn't always used to be this way. And here is a look at the old layout. It used to be 9 corners down in turns 1 and 2. It was pretty much just a flat kink through turn number 2. Then you throttle all the way to what is now turn number 5. In 1988, they adjusted the racetrack and built in a new section, turns 2 through 5, which are now the Andretti hairpin, 3, 4, and 5. Right there's the old section going away, and now we have an 11-turn road course. But the primary feature of this facility, Finian, is the corkscrew.
Yeah, that's the if there's one turn you know about this place, it's definitely the corkscrew. One of the most iconic corners in American motorsports, really, and I don't think many people would argue with that statement. It's just such an interesting turn just going through, and the drop, the fact that you cannot see the second part of it catches a lot of drivers off guard. And if you're a bull, you can make a pass through there. We saw, I think, what was one of the most famous, I think it was Zanardi. Yeah, he made a great pass through there, and everyone was raving about it on the final lap. It's hard to do it, definitely possible, but I doubt we'll see it in this race.
Absolutely. So WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, 2.24 miles of racing surface, a lot of elevation change, and a lot of what makes American racetracks great. So that's a look at the track we're on here tonight. Qualifying is underway already as we head down to the course here in just a moment, Finian. And again, I think we have to look at Jeff Royan is making a return to the top of the board this week, but Zach Buchanan really shocked everybody. His first event in SCRS Ferrari Challenge immediately went out there and performed right into the top level. So very excited to see him back out on track this week as we head down to the track. As we got... by the way, Finian, this driver's name here, Odyssey Adams Jr. That's how you pronounce that. So let's make sure we get that right tonight. The number 22 car, as he makes his way around, currently 8th on the board. Some drivers have already laid down times in qualifying, and Zach Hefner in the 51 sits in 2nd. He's also had a really solid start to the season. Brian Shamelski 3rd in qualifying right now. He's really impressive so far. We'll see if he can have a good run tonight and make it through as he goes for a slide in turn number 11 off into the gravel.
Probably a bad time to go to him there. He's going to have a spin. This is what I was talking about, guys going off the track. You see the 12 just looped around here. Still holding on to 3rd. Really solid qualifying effort as we got just over 5 minutes remaining. So these guys got maybe 2-3 laps saved up for a run.
Carter Kundinger in the number 2 goes to second on the board. And Peter Vostrel last week had a really good run in the 404 car and looking to continue that in his Penguin RC Simulations car. I want to thank Penguin RC Simulations, of course, for sponsoring this series and having season-end prizes, and Brian Sohn is the mastermind of that. You can head to the website in the video description below if you want to check out some premium sim racing hardware. They're a good group of guys, and they got some good stuff on sale as well, so make sure you check that out. 5 minutes left in qualifying, and we've got about, 28 cars here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of guys, a lot of guys here for the race here. And also Paul Darling, I haven't seen him in this series in quite a while, so nice to see him back on the grid.
And that's a threat for everybody else, because he was good. He's won a couple races so far, so keep an eye out for him. Christian Ost in the 157. We have not seen a whole lot of Christian lately. Are we surprised by that, or is that just the nature of the series getting more and more popular and bringing in some pretty intense talent?
Yeah, I think so. He also has not wasn't here at Silverstone and Alton Park, so he hasn't been around quite a while. It's dropped him quite a bit down in the points, but the runs he has made, yeah, they haven't been quite stellar, so I'll have to see if he can pick up the pace here. Currently 21st in qualifying here as he comes out of the final corner. We'll see if he's gonna put down in time and if it's an improvement.
And his best time so far is, looks like, get Nick to change this back up. It was a 130, but now it's a 123.9. That'll put him in 15th spot on the board. So that's a little bit better for him here as he heads down into turn 1 and 2, known as the Andretti hairpin, as you mentioned here, Finney. But let's go back to the corkscrew. This corner, you can pass here if you're really brave, but I think for the most part it'll be a single file corner tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe late in the race, if guys are getting, if they're getting impatient, I think we might see someone try to make a move down here, which might end up in disaster. We've seen it time and time again. It doesn't always work out. Also, you can see too some of the sand that these guys have been dragging out onto the racing surface just from cutting the corner, just like that.
Yeah, you can see this is actually a really great place to see this. They've actually in recent years put some pavement and AstroTurf over here
and
to keep people from dragging sand back on corpse. I almost said corpse. But you can see it everywhere. This is on the outside of turn number 5. Head over to turn 6. You can see it on the far left-hand side of the screen here. Go back to turn 4. You can't really see it because of the lighting here, but turn 3 even, all along the edges of the track, sand everywhere. And that's going to be kind of the topic of discussion tonight, is if you run wide, you're going to drag that stuff back on track, and it's going to make it very, very messy. You can see here at the exit of turn 9 and 10, a lot of sand and gravel accumulating.
I'm trying to wonder who on earth was out there, or several drivers that are out there to throw that much sand on the back part going into turn 10. You definitely want to get back on the surface. You see there, guys work through the corner.
And he's out on track, and has he laid down a time so far? 4th best. He's amazingly, right out of the gate, performing in this number 40 car. So, and he's got, that is probably one of the only true Ferrari red cars we have out here. And boy, does that
which is really ironic, right, in a series like this, but it's a little bit of teal to denote Project 2.
Yeah, I actually really dig this paint scheme because it's so simple but so effective, and it's got the classic Ferrari color on board.
It's a realistic scheme, I think, for like if you were to run this in the actual Ferrari Challenge series. It's just Alpine stars on the side.
It's a gorgeous car, and he's done well with it. So we're going to ride on board here with Zach just for a lap here, just to kind of see how the track conditions are, because again, we want to keep an eye on where the gravel is accumulating, and it's going to get way worse by the end of the race. Off into turn 4 now, tracking out. There's some gravel on the right. Now look at that big patch right before the rumble strip. And then down into turn 5. This is a very tricky corner to get right, kind of a late apex here. Zach's going to turn in, get right to the edge of the curve, throttle back up. More gravel on the inside of 5. Now they're on up to 6. This corner compresses your car down to your bones. You're going to feel this in your back. You slam down the banking, a little bit wide, and that's going to be an off track for Zach this time through.
Yeah, it's always a corner that feels like it needs to be, shift the asphalt like 3-4 feet the other way down into the corkscrew now. You're going to see the drop in elevation. Can't see the apex, but he's going to hit it pretty much perfectly.
The dust cloud from I think that's Rodriguez in front of him that went a little off, but the sun glaring at the exit of 9. That's going to be a visibility issue a little bit later tonight. Again, 3 15-minute races as he goes through 10.
Yeah, then up to the final corner. This could be a big passing spot for a lot of guys in the later part of the lap.
Oh, a little understeer there.
Yeah, goes a little bit wide.
Again, you can't use the downforce of this big car, the big wing on this car when you head into that corner, just because you're going too slow. You don't have any aero on that car. So 47 seconds left in qualifying. Buchanan drops down to 6th. He'll get at least one more lap here. Jeff Arroyan still holds the top of the board here.
Yeah, really solid qualifying effort from him. How about Odyssey Adams in 22, up in 2nd.
Really strong run for him. Kurt Crum up in the 87. He's all the way on the other side of the course. in third place at the time being in his Bombshell Motorsports car. Bombshell Racing Team. I feel like I've said Motorsports a lot, but that's not what it's called.
Hey, they changed the name.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Also, Jake Johansson's running a new paint scheme on board this car this week, and that is cool looking. Kind of graphics on it. Grip Hacks Engineering, kind of a matte black and a little bit of metallic accent there. I really dig that. So qualifying is complete. Do they typically do open qualifying?
Yeah.
They do. Okay. For some reason, I was thinking, oh no, tonight.
No, that was open.
Interesting. Usually, give you time to finish. All right. So that's new, I think. But so qualifying is complete, and we're just waiting to get gridded here for the first of 3 races tonight. Let's go through our keys to the race here, Finian, tonight. The corkscrew. That's the big discussion. Keep yourself on track. Don't get yourself a cut course down there. Gravel trap. Don't go off course anywhere. Not only the corkscrew, because it's a very wide beach at the corner exit. All these gravel traps, Finian, you won't necessarily get stuck in them, but it is really hard to get grip once you get into them. Also, passing zones. Where's the best place to pass tonight, Finian? Andretti hairpin, maybe into turn 3 and 4, and then definitely turn number 11, I think, is your primary passing zone tonight.
Yeah, indeed, and it'd be interesting seeing how this race is going to play out too. I feel like we're going to see this probably get single file after the first set of corners, and then we're going to see it kind of remain like that. We're going to see a few passes here and there, but I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of side-by-side action up at the top, especially considering the way these guys qualified.
So lights are on here on these cars. We get read up. We got 28 drivers. I don't think Paul Darling's going to make the grid here. He is in the session, but might be competing in something else at the moment, so he might be here for races 2 and 3. In just a moment, we'll go over your starting grid, but here's a look at the weather. Nice and cool conditions, and it's about 6 p.m. here, 6 p.m. local time, Pacific time. 67 in the air, 71 on the racetrack. That's going to be extremely grippy for this racetrack. And this place is not known for being exceptionally grippy. Yeah. It's a pretty low grip asphalt in general. There is quite a bit of camber in the corners to help your car stick, but you really feel understeer in the flat corners.
Field is rolling off, so why don't we go through your starting lineup?
On the front row, it's going to be pro category driver Jeff Roy in the 233 and Odyssey Adams Jr. in the 22. He rolls off in second.
Going on back to row number 2, Kirk Crum in the 87 on points. They're going to be starting next to Zachary Heffner, the man chasing him, in 4th.
In row number 3, Robert Rattray in that beautiful, brightly chromed 33 car, and Zach Buchanan shot out of the gate last week at Catalunya will go again from 6th.
Back in 7th is going to be Carter Kundinger in the 2 car. He's going to be lining up next to Jake Johansson in 8th in the 06.
In 9th place, in row number 5, Brian Chemelski in the number 12 avoided that horrendous first lap accident in race 3 last week, rolls off of the inside of 5, and Isaac Snyder in 10th.
Back in 11th, Drew Lidke is going to be lining up in the 21 car. Next to him, Peter Vostrel in 12th in the 404.
In 13th, T. Galgi in the number 13 car out of Illinois, and out of Texas, Nick Morelli. There was a little bit of contact there. Was that up at the front of the
Yeah, I think it was Kirk Crum, getting to Buchanan as he was trying to swerve to warm up his tires. Back in 15, Michael Boland in the 4 car. He's going to be next to, in 16, Andrew Mickey in the 86.
17th place, Jonathan Rodriguez in the 27, and Christian Oss in the 157 out of Pennsylvania rolls off in 18th.
Back in 19th, we find Corey Hart in the 57. He's going to be lining up next to Ben Shout in 20th in the 66.
In 21st place, Thomas Cooper in the 584, and Jim Benson in the 18 car rolls off in 22nd.
Oh, I'm really proud of this camera.
It is the awesome. One of the best ones I think you've done. Look at him come down the hill here, and this is just for effect. Again, on the first lap, we're going to use the other camera that you got to show the drop. It's a 4-story drop from top to bottom, and you feel every bit of that, especially if you're in VR. So last bit of the field here. Paul Darling, the only driver that did not take the grid. He will not earn points in race number 1. Time to go racing, 15 minutes times 3. This is the first of 3 races tonight. Jeff Roy in that 233 is your pole sitter. Lots of dust flying in the background. Hopefully some sparks tonight too. Final corner, turn number 11. And the green flag waves. We're racing from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in SCRS Ferrari Challenge. Oh, big crash! That's Kirk Crum up on his lid, and a huge stack up at the exit of turn 2.
Oh, I saw him in the 22 side by side, and I had a feeling they might have made contact. I didn't think it was going to be that bad though. But massive accident for our points leader.
All right, just because that was our points leader, we're going to go back and see what happened here. on the first lap. Maybe he got turned by, what car was that? Was that the
22?
22, right
Odyssey
here.
Adams.
Odyssey Adams, and gets into him right here, turns him around. Everybody stacks up and turns him over, and everybody scatters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm amazed that more people weren't directly involved in that. You know, guys are just going through the grass, but there wasn't a secondary accident caused by that. Meanwhile, Roy gonna break away to a really solid lead because of that over his teammate Hefner, and Hefner's gonna be licking his lips because he's gonna gain a lot of points now on Kurt Crum because he's up in second.
Yeah, this is a big time to strike in the point standings with the leader out. There's other cars slipping and sliding to the top of the hill there. They all come down through the corkscrew for the first time. So Jeff Roy leads. Want to check some of those cars that were kind of involved in that stack up. Zach Buchanan's got some damage on the nose of that car. It's shortened up pretty significantly, but it should be okay as long as the steering's straight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's the big concern. Aero-wise, you know, he can get away with quite a bit. We got the 66 that been shot around. Started in 20, back in 26, so he's gonna get back rolling.
Yeah, dragged a lot of gravel back on track, so we'll see if that affects anybody coming back through. Michael Bolden off in turn number 11, gets back on, continues. So as you mentioned, Vinny, it's Jeff Roy out in front by 2.8 seconds. That's a big lead, and it's teammates out front. So Jake Johansson's the first non-teammate up inside that podium. Robert Rattray's got Buchanan all over him here in turn 4.
Yeah, that damage definitely not holding up Buchanan a bit. Trying to make a move on the 33. This was talking about in this infield section. Kind of hard to pass here, a bit single file. Buchanan going to try to make a move down in turn 5.
And he's going to cross over and have a run up into 6. This is a great place to make a pass, but he can't. It's hard to get a run out of this corner.
If the corkscrew is a bad place to pass, I think turn 6 is even worse. It's really hard to go side by
The reason why
side.
I like this corner, though, is because if you have the inside line, the person on the outside is going to have to give it to you. You can't run through there side by side without somebody going around for a loop, so Buchanan will get in front by the time they get to the corkscrew.
Whoa.
Big dive by Teague Algae in the 13 as they head down the hill.
I'm not sure that was a big dive. More or less, he just missed his braking point by a little bit, but made sure to get a woe down in time. He's got his teammate. We're talking about Christian Ose. He's been struggling quite a bit. Nice run for him from 18th to 7th. And I think gained a lot of spots on that turn 1 collision we saw.
Yeah, plus 11. Jonathan DeCouger is around, and this is over down at the bottom of the corkscrew.
Yeah, DeCouger already, his night was bad because he started back in the field and I think 26th, so it's already gone bad for him here. He's up into 17th.
This drags the tires off and accelerates into the dirt.
Yeah.
And that's never really a good place to get the tires trying to spin up to get you power, so he'll drop to 26. So his teammate's up at the front of the field leading this thing, but he's way, way back. So Jeff Roy leads the way, and got a couple battles. Oh, Andrew Mickey's around in the 86. This is down in turn number 2. The Andretti hairpin. And I think he just gets all out of shape by himself.
Yeah, back end comes around as he was slowing down.
And he'll get back rolling in 20th place.
I was in 12th when that happened. That's unfortunate. He's going to lose a lot of spots because of that incident.
Checking on Drew Lidke in the 21. He's sizing up Robert Rattray in front of him, and I think Robert's got some more damage than we're seeing because he's definitely has dropped off the pace a little bit. And Lidke closes in into the corkscrew, down 4 stories. And Rome in front of him.
Whoa, Buchanan
Oh,
around.
Man.
And he was just a bit too aggressive and...
Aggressive goes around.
Yep.
He'll get back rolling.
Same thing what happened to DeCouger happened to the 40 Buchanan.
Yeah, it's so easy to just drop your tires off there, and when you do that, you get dirt on them and they spin, and then you're on for a ride.
So from a 4th place spot, he's going to drop a little back to 12th.
Right in front of him, Brian Sohn in the 03. He started back in 24th. How about that climb? 13 spots in 5 minutes. Climb.
Up the front, our leaders separated by quite a few spots, or at least our top 4. They're separated by seconds. And then it's a lot closer between groups of guys as you go further on back.
Yeah, just keep an eye. This is our closest battle on the racetrack right now with Buchanan and Sohn trying to retrade this spot. 10 minutes to go.
Beautiful view.
It certainly is. Into 4. Really no rush at the front of the field right now for the 2 teammates. They've just got a commanding lead over Jake Johansson in 3rd, then Rattray in 4th, Lidke in 5th, and that is heating up for that 4th place battle. We'll take you there when it happens. Ooh, Buchanan again dropping a wheel off. I don't remember if Buchanan is a fan of this racetrack or not. I feel like he isn't, but here he comes. Sohn dove off really deep into the corkscrew, but he will get it slowed down before they drop down the hill. Rodriguez is spun.
He he hit the barrier, it seems, at least that's what the tire marks are showing.
Oh, he's actually going to reset back to the pits. Let's see if... Oh, we got the tires off on the entry to the corner, and right there. The exact same crash happened in Lamborghini Super Trofeo last year. Where they went off on the inside lane and kind of ramped up over the curb on the inside. So there's Robert Rattray and Drew Lidke. This is your fight for fourth. Big slide, and that's going to bring Lidke right into this.
These guys, I think, are asking a little bit too much of the rear end. We've seen a lot of incidents where the back end comes around for these guys, and Lidke going to throw it up the inside of Rattray, still side by side, but he's going to advantage into the next corner, and he's going to clear him.
Corey Hart slow in turn one, gonna let a couple cars on through.
Yeah, very slow. He's running in ninth. He's dropping down significantly. I think he's got significant damage to the left side. That might be new.
Yeah, it definitely looks new. He's gonna have to pull that car off and bring it to a stop. He spun out down in the end already. Hairpin, does he get hit? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's sewn. And they did a really good job. Buchanan especially did a really good job getting stopped. But more issues, and he'll pull off to the side of the racetrack and call it a day.
Yeah, worst place to get is right in that wheel.
So up in front, the race is pretty much already won with those two teammates up there. How about Carter Kundinger back in 15th place, one of the drivers involved in that opening lap crash, and still fighting his way back to the field.
Yeah, and he's also kind of in. I say kind of. He pretty much is also in that championship battle. A little bit further on back than Hefner, but he definitely needed a good finish and needed to capitalize on our points leader, Kurt Crum, having mistakes. Speaking of which, Crum back in 23rd.
Yeah, still kind of trying to recover. There's a big group of cars here, starting with the 18 car of Jim Benson. That's that orange car right in front. Then Peter Vostrel in the 404 had a really strong run last week. And he started his race in 12th. Has only dropped a couple spots, probably due to the big stack up down in turn 1 and 2. It's difficult to remember that turn 1 is actually this corner right here. Turn 2 is actually the Andretti hairpin, and I always get that confused. I don't really consider that much of a corner, but it is. Yeah, believe me?
No, because I was looking at a track map earlier. I thought it labeled...
Nope. You thought wrong. I promise. Turn 1.
Oh, you were right.
Car off again. That is one of the cars that's already been slow. Ben Schouten to 66. And Zach Buchanan learning on Brian Sohn. If he can finish top 10 after this, that'd be a pretty good recovery after looping it around. And he's working over the 0-3 of Sohn again. He'll have a run. Into the corkscrew. On the brakes.
How much of a fight Buchanan going to take this spot? Now going to try to drive away, try to catch Isaac Snyder up ahead is the next car in the 333.
It's about a 4.6 second drive, so it's a lot of work to do. 6 minutes left. How about for fourth place? Lidke and Rattray haven't really separated a whole lot, but Carter Kundinger, Peter Vostrel, but a light's flashing there, maybe a little bit of displeasure between these two.
That's surprising.
Oh, real tight.
Wow.
They're definitely upset with each other as Vostrel dives up the inside in turn 11.
I'm surprised with this. Vostrel's usually, I think the more
he's crowding him too.
He usually seems like the more easygoing driver, but he's been aggressive in the last few weeks.
Well, sometimes he need to be, but that was certainly, must have been some real upset feelings. Behind him, that's Brian Shabelski, Odyssey Adams Jr. in the 22 right behind after he started up inside the top 3, started in 2nd. He's all the way back in 16th after having that off-track excursion in turn 1, lap 1. I'm going to go back and see what happened between these two. There was something that led up to this. Maybe there was some prior issues here. Maybe
that move.
Let's head down. All right, here's a look. This is previous last lap into the corkscrew here. Kundinger and Vostrel. Was there some contact?
No,
here?
I think it was after the corkscrew here. I saw Kundinger make a dive.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Snuck up underneath. And I think Vostrel, but you open the door that wide and you're almost asking, oh, Buchanan's around again. And that time, that's it. You open the door that wide, it's probably the same place, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Just grab the gravel.
So yeah, I'm guessing he doesn't like this place.
Well, I'm guessing he wants it to be updated to have the turf on the inside lane. Because now there's about 5 or 6 feet of
there's a lot.
runoff that you can kind of use to stabilize the car. Not legal racing surface, but it would prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
So 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in this race, and Christian Ost, T. Algae, 2 teammates fighting it out. And they've had a really nice race. They've climbed up, Ost from 18th and Algae from 13th, so both of them have gone forward.
It's been a solid race for both of them, as you were saying. So they're looking at a really solid finish, maybe potentially a top 5 if you see another mistake. You've seen Rattray be a little slidey in some corners, and he's been close to spinning out just up the road from these guys. There you see Osin, Algae comes to frame down.
The run up to the corkscrew yet again. Rattray trying to close back in on the 21 of Lidkey, and it's so hard to do in the braking zone there because, oh, I hear contact. Algae's around.
Oh, down Deer's curse.
And was this hopefully not contact with his
No,
teammate?
I think he just got on the brakes. I think it's too much.
Oh, right there. Caught the curb, but he's going to hit the concrete. Oh, man. And look at that. That's Rodriguez going a long way around. So did Isaac Snyder.
I like the way Rodriguez went his turn. He's like, oh, there's a car there. Went a little bit more to the right and adjusted.
Well, Vostrel has gotten back by Carter Kundinger in the
There we go.
car. And here's a look at Jim Benson into turn 11.
He's going to make that pass. Kundinger, whoa! He was a little bit opportunistic with that.
Well, again, I think he's upset because of how far down the order he is when he really should be farther up the road. So I think he's not thrilled with his position and is trying to do everything he can to get any spots. That's nice. This is all 10th on back. And they're going to sneak up the inside. Benson will leave him the space. Something tells me these two aren't done.
Yeah, probably not, because Kundinger is trying to get back at Vostrel and get another spot. They're also catching up on Algae, who's got a massive amount of nose damage.
That car is not going to last very long up here. The aero drag on this damaged Ferrari 488 is going to certainly leave them in the dust here as soon as they get by. Look at the splitter all bent up in the nose.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got facing drag, you're facing loss of aero. Got a lot of problems there. At least on the right side, it seems the steering wasn't damaged at all, which makes sense because you hit that nose on.
Coming up the hill now towards the corkscrew. Vostrel closes in, backs off a little early. He's going to have a lunge up the inside. Thought about it, but Algae covered.
Oh, and Kundinger made up a lot of time on the entry into the corkscrew. Now going to try to get him back. He made a move last time, too.
Yeah, didn't thought better of it this time. Usually, if you tick off your competitors, you try not to repeat it, but it depends on whether or not you thought you were right. Ooh, he hit the sausage curb on the inside lane there, and ooh, did he hurt the suspension? It looked like he was bobbling there a bit.
No, I think he just had too much speed on exit. It's getting a little bit loose.
Steering wheel still straight. A minute and 57 to go. Next time by will be white flags. This is 2 to go for these drivers. Brian Sohn and Nicholas Morelli. This is for 8th.
Morelli, another recent newcomer to the series, I believe, made his first start last week.
Yep, last week at Barcelona.
Yeah, and is running fairly well here, 9th.
Brian Sohn deserves a medal after this. 24th to 8th.
Yeah, really solid drive for the 0-3. He's been having, he struggled a bit at Catalunya last week to get some solid finishes, and so this is going to definitely put him back in the right direction. Nice solid 8th place finish. He's actually, remember too, with the invert, for race number 2, we're going to invert the top 10. He's going to be ending up starting in 3rd. And actually, Algae, who is currently sitting in 3rd, that's actually the spot where you're looking at this battle here. So that's the spot to start in 1st.
Yep. And, oh, here comes Vostrel to the inside. I think he knows that. The white flag is in the air for the leaders as he goes around the inside. Contact behind him.
Back.
Oh, man, that's going to bounce him right back into the racing line. Something that led up to that, too, I think.
Oh, and Adams Jr. was the second car involved in there. I think he...
Yep. I think Odyssey Adams Jr. might have had a bit of a run and maybe went to driver's right.
I think he just missed his braking point or also caught the dirt and just couldn't slow down.
Yeah, he was just in way too hot and slams into Benson. That's all. That might be a penalty
I think
for
it's
next week.
Absolutely going to be a penalty.
Vostrel in pit lane.
Oh, what?
Again, this could be incident count related. White flag for the leaders.
Yeah,
right there.
Oh.
There was, again, these two have been battling all night long in that corner, and Kundinger took advantage of it again, and Vostrel, I think, goes down here and says, no, thank you, and turns him around. That'll certainly be a penalty, but I think Vostrel found his breaking point. He's in to pit lane. There's Kundinger as well. I'm sure that they both crested the incident limit and had to serve drive-through penalties at the very least. So a lot of drivers with issues, but for Jeff Royan, no issues at all. He comes through the final corner, and race 1, going to go to the 233. Incident-free almost, as far as I know. Not a single wheel dropped.
I think pretty close to it. If not, that car looks completely pristine. And across the line, he's going to take the win in race number 1. Hafner going to be happy. Massive points haul for him in P2. Then right in behind there, you see that all-black car flashing the lights of 06 is Jake Johansson, gonna cross the line in third. Leitke gonna finish ahead of Rattray. He's gonna take fourth, Rattray back in fifth. And Isaac Snyder, we have barely talked about him all race long. A solid finish for him in his 333 machine.
Yeah, there he is coming out of the final corner. For Peter Vostrel.
Oh, Brian Sohn around the last corner.
Man.
Oh, man, he can get this loop back around. He can still start very well, but he stalled the car, and nope, he's going to start back out of the top 10.
He'll drop down to 12th now.
That's tragic. And that's going to be really good for Brian Chabelski. He's going to finish P10 and start first.
Oh, it's even worse when you had no contact. You just got in there a little bit hot and looped the car around. This default setup seems to be really tail happy on corner entry. We've seen a bunch of cars have the same issue.
It was so close to getting, you were talking about him having a really solid race, and just at the end there, it's still solid up in P12, but it's going to definitely sting when it could have been better.
A couple of cars still making their way around the field, the drivers that hit pit lane. But let's have a look at your race results here before we head off to race number 2. Jeff Arroyan in the 233. Again, the yellow drivers, the pro category drivers. The AM drivers are in the white. You can see there the yellow. Only 3 AM or pro drivers in the top 10, so that's a lot less than we're used to seeing. So time to turn it over to race number 2. 10 driver invert. Brian Chabelski will sit on pole for this one here, Finian.
Yeah, and again, that's what I was talking about. Just got really lucky the fact that someone had a mishap here, so he's going to start up in the first position. And we already saw on the opening lap in the Andretti hairpin, there's already contact. I can't imagine with the invert's going to be much cleaner, but we'll have to see if there's going to be more chaos down there.
The field getting gridded up to ready to go racing for race number 2 of 3 tonight. And we talked about our keys to the race here, Finian, and I think the big one for me was one that we didn't even have on here, is turn 1, lap 1. That was the big issue in the first race. And race 2, I don't see how that would be any different. You're still all charging down here. Zach Buchanan is in the field, but having to start all the way at the tail. And this is going to be a frustrating drive for him, although he did do a really good job last week doing this, so we'll see if he can overcome that. Look at the glare on the top of the garages.
Cool.
That was awesome.
More than that, please. But yeah, for Buchanan, I don't think he's going to be too concerned about it. This is all really for fun for him, joining mid-season. So he's just trying to enjoy himself. I'm sure he's going to have quite a bit of fun now. He's got to work from the back to the front of the field.
Another look at the race weather here before we turn him loose again. Track has cooled a little bit, 67 ambient, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, about a degree cooler than it was. That is an average taken from across the racing surface, so as the track kind of heads into the sunset, we get shadows in different places. You're going to see that temperature kind of fluctuate a little bit. Working through, we didn't see nearly as many incidents as I expected in the infield section. This is where I would expect to see that things are so flat.
You typically, that is turn 4, I believe they were just coming through.
Yep.
That's where you typically see a lot of incidents with guys either just go running too wide off the track, dipping a wheel out, they'll come swing back on and collect maybe someone else, or just drivers making a chuck up the inside. But yeah, as you're saying, fairly clean.
Run up to turn number 6, which is then another corner where I expected to see more carnage and calamity.
Yeah, this again, like I was saying, it feels like this corner should have a little bit more road to the, 3 feet more road to the right side, but not enough in here. Get the corkscrew yet again. I don't know if we've talked enough about this corner, or if we have.
I think everyone got the point. 4-story drop down the hill. Even on the pace laps, it's tricky to run through your side-by-side. Look at Andrew Mickey taking all the way to driver's left.
I want to see a corner that has a 5-story drop. Next.
How about a 6-story drop?
7.
8?
10.
now you're just talking about a cliff. All right. Race number 2, another 15 minutes on the board. Chabelski, Algie, Morelli, O. Snyder, your top 5. Rattray, Lidke, Johansson, Hefner, and Arroyan, the rest of your top 10. Here we go, coming to the green flag. It's in the air. They gotta make that furled, don't they? It drives me crazy. Green flag flies, 15 minutes on the board from Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca in race 2 of 3, the Scars Ferrari Challenge.
side-by-side action down into turn 2 here.
And hopefully we make it out of this one alive, and it looks like so far so good.
Yep.
And Shamelski is free and clear. Odyssey Adam Shooter's already reset back to, there he goes. It started from the pit lane, it looks like. But Shamelski can just try to run away right now. That's his goal, is try to get away as far as he can from drivers like Christian Oss. He's going to be a threat. Drew Lidke will be a threat. And of course, Hefner and Arroyo.
Directly in behind him, I think Algae might be a threat. We saw Algae had quite a bit of pace, finish up in 7th in a race. What did you see? Kundinger throw it up the inside of Steve Bunting. Going to get 16th.
For second place.
Pirelli trying to make some noise here in a move potentially into the corkscrew. Not enough. Algae going to defend successfully and hold on.
You make a run up the outside and try to sneak up drivers right, but no chance there as we head down the hill for the first time. Big slide there for the attrition cars. That might have been Terry Newmaster in the 000. It certainly was. Zach Buchanan up to 20th spot. Started a little bit farther back. Go, Nick Morelli's off.
Whoa, so is Vostrel just off there. And Morelli running in 3rd, gonna spin and drop way down the order.
And was there contact here? I think he just probably dropped the wheel.
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. I think he just dropped the wheel, pushing a little bit too hard.
Right there, got the wheels on the dirt, and he tried to save it, got the dirt, the wheels on the up.
Wow, and everyone did a fantastic job avoiding that.
Yeah, Christian Oss especially did a good job.
And that's what I was talking about. You know, these guys, you're running right up to the edge. You know, these guys are running on the curbs. That's not there, you know, to give them extra room. They're using that.
I always talk about this. Curbs, as a driver, we're gonna spin the leaders around. Shamelski in turn 4.
And Algae also, he's slow and off to the side as well. Man.
Oh, did they tangle Finian?
Potentially.
Oh, I think they did. There's a look. Oh, Algae gets in, just a slight bump and turns around the leader, and I think he slowed to try to be gentlemanly, but the damage has been done, and Shamelski just now gets rolling all the way down in 26. So Isaac Snyder takes over the lead.
How about that? Well, you can't wait, can't rest on his laurels for too long. You got the 33 to Maitreya. Being a pro driver, I think this 333 is under threat.
Oh, for sure. That is a great looking no luck car as he heads down into turn number 11 to complete lap number 2. Bit of a gaggle behind him. There's Jake Johansson in the 06 car. And he finished podium in first race, and here he is back in 4th already.
And how about right in behind him, Jeffrey Roy, and then Zachary Hafner running 5th and 6th.
Kurt Crum 16th and 9th.
Yeah, really good climb up for it for him. He needs some solid points. Again, you know, keeping the bigger picture in mind. He pretty much lost his comfortable points that he had from race 1 alone, as you see Mickey go out wide.
I don't think he's clear, actually. They're going to run side by side off into the next corner.
There you go. I would have thought that Mickey would have left clear. There you go.
Up front, Snyder still has the lead here, but I just don't know. His last lap, Finian, was a 123.9. Rattre's a 124.2. So maybe he could try to pull away.
He could, but I would be more worried about maybe the guys in behind him, like Johansson, Royan, and Hefner running 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Christian Ost in 3rd. Again, he's certainly going to be a threat. Really deep on the brakes into the corkscrew. Look at Johansson making up so much time. And then 2 teammates, Roy and Hefner. These guys working together, and I think it's going to pay off for them here shortly.
Yeah, I'm sure these guys might be a little bit patient here because they're already near the front of the field. Don't want to throw it away early.
Hear all the gravel bouncing around. Sun peeking through as well. Ost is way off track. He'll get it back on before turn 11. Keeps it nice and tight. Won't run anybody off course, but that got interesting. There's your leader. 3rd place fight's gonna get real interesting.
You see Johansson flashing the lights here. Curious how Oss is gonna defend. He's got 3 really fast drivers in behind him.
Tuck it in for the second part of the Andretti hairpin. Nicely done. Behind him, the teammates still on the tail. There's a spin behind, and it's Brian Sohn. He just can't have any luck, can he?
No, he can't. It was looking like a good round for him in general, but
just stepped out
around by himself. Yep.
It was a downshift that maybe unsettled the car, but
could be. Or just jumping on the throttle too early. There's a lot of things.
Had another issue, and it looks like he might have headed back to pit lane. Here comes Zach Buchanan. How about Zach Buchanan? What an unbelievable drive. 25th to 10th. And he's still got 10 minutes to go. He's only a couple seconds back from gaining 3 or 4 more spots.
Yeah, I really wish he started this season. He would have definitely been in the midst of the championship fight. He's got some really solid pace, and probably, honestly, the way his pace is, I'm curious if they'll throw him in the pro category.
I don't even know if he cares about the points. I think he just enjoys.
No, at this point, no, yeah, he doesn't. But I'm just saying it would have been nice if he was in the point standings, because he would have been definitely a threat along with Hefner and Crum. He goes a little bit wide, of course, stupid saves, but still an impressive driving. Still has quite a bit of time to gain some more spots. He's still got over 9 minutes left.
Yeah, they got lots of time left. Frabo for 4th place, Johansson. Now Roy and Hefner. They've all been very patient, but I think the patience is going to start to run out as you see the clock ticking down. I think it's going to start with a Roy on Johansson sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen an exchange for a position amongst these 4 drivers. Ooh, Johansson a little bit sideways getting into turn 2.
Christian Oss might be holding up this group just a little bit. See, Rattray has about a 10 car length gap. Oh, Hefner, big curb strike there. We were talking about the curbs earlier. We got caught up by the leaders crashing. But again, the drivers want to use the curbs at every opportunity they can get, because when you pave something, they're going to use it regardless of how rough it is to drive on. The problem is they're not considered racetrack. The racetrack is between the white lines. Okay, white lines, that's the racetrack. Anything beyond that is not racetrack. That's not designed to be used as racetrack. So when you get on them, anything you outside, that's risky. You see the sausage curbs, the gravel traps. It's really, really dangerous to drop wheels off, especially at this track.
Down into the corkscrew here. Dan's actually lost time to O's. O's is kind of about to gap back out, which is kind of surprising. Would have thought it would have been the opposite. But they're just struggling to get around O's, and the leader's right up ahead. And Rattray made up 5/10 on Isaac Snyder last time through, as you see making around at the exit of the corkscrew.
That's a bad spot to be parked too. It's difficult to get back rolling here without getting in the way. Back it up, and Jonathan Rodriguez comes down the hill. Let's go back and see exactly how he got himself in the situation. Probably the same way everyone else has tonight. Buchanan going on through, who's now up to 9th. He's gonna come down the hill, probably just grab the gravel, and right there, spins that out again. And it's really the traction control that does that, because it cuts the power to the wheels, and that's what makes it really suck to drive for that split moment. Here's what looks like Hefner and Royan are through. Johansson moved the 0-6 back to 6.
Yeah, this is actually recent if you want to rewind this back.
Yeah, a couple corners ago, I believe down into the Andretti hairpin was when the move was made. Here's a look.
Actually, Johansson made a mistake because they're pretty far back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, we see the car, hands inside the car.
Whoa.
Right there, bobble to the right, and they'll both go on through. Now up at the lead, our lead has shrunk a little bit. Snyder only has a 4/10 in the second lead, and Rattray's closed that.
Yeah, he's made up a second over the last 2 laps and still closing on this lap, so he's got quite a bit of time to work with Snyder. But again, past O's, the fastest guys in the race are coming.
Into turn number 10. And if these leaders start to fight, they're going to bring 3rd through 5th right into the mix. So if they're going to fight, they got to get it over with quickly.
Yeah, Rattray needs to make some quick work of Snyder.
Onto the front straight, 6.5 minutes to go. Halfway through this race, a little bit farther than that, actually. And the cars in 4th and 5th, I think, are the biggest threat right now. A little wide for Snyder, a little wide for Rattray as well, but they tuck it down nicely to the apex. Ost last time through, his lap time was a 1:23.1 to a 1:22.7, so they will almost certainly get to him by the corkscrew.
Yeah, I was going to say they're already gaining quite a bit of time. They might make the pass before the corkscrew here if he can get a good run on Ost heading to turn 5.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I mean, if you can get a run up from 5 into 6, you can be alongside and have him back out and get the pass done for you, but goes throttling up. I think he's going to sit in the line here. No sense trying to force something.
Yeah, you can see him back off just a little bit, giving some room for the go through 6 who Ost went over the curb, and now here comes Royan.
And also bringing Hefner with him as they run down to the corkscrew into the braking zone. Use that ABS. A little bit of wiggling and wobbling, but he's through, and Hefner can't follow, so move Royan up through. Hefner has to wait. That's such an inviting corner to dive up underneath. Now the run into 11. Does he have a look? No, not quite. Can't do it. There's big trouble.
Whoa.
Sorry to cut you off, but there's a lot of a mess. This is up at the top of the hill.
Yeah, Hartz and
That shout in the 66.
Yeah. And Bunting? No, not Bunting.
This is actually coming out of turn 6. I'm trying to see if we could get a better look at it. But, oh, car coming back on turn. Was that Johansson?
No, I think it was another black car.
No, it wasn't. You're right. Who was that? Huh. Oh. Well, no chance in looking at it because we have a pass for the lead as Snyder goes off and through goes Rattray. And now Arroyo and Hefner back to the 2nd and 3rd spot.
Yeah, now Rattray's going to be maybe a little bit worried. Again, he is considered a pro, and he has shown in the past he's got some solid pace. But again, the leader's loom. He's got to just make sure that he doesn't make a mistake by himself.
Now Rattray's got to just really be perfect these next couple of laps. Still 4 minutes. There's a lot of time left to race. Kurt Crumb's back here, Carter Kundinger's back here, even Zach Buchanan can pick up a couple more spots if these front groups start to kind of fight amongst themselves. But Rattray and Arroyo have kind of broken away, and I think your winner is probably going to be one of these two. Zach Buchanan's gone around in the corner again. This is the 3rd time he's had that incident there tonight.
Looks like he's only lost 1 place potentially. You're going to try to get that back as he gets past home, but now he's got a little chance of catching back up the guys up ahead. Oh, and Rattray.
This track has been biting people tonight, Finney, and staying on course, staying on the black stuff is so important.
Yeah, that's going to give Arroyo the lead. Now Hefner going to take that 2nd spot.
Snyder's got a lot to work with right now because he's got Christian Ost behind him, Jake Johansson, Kurt Crum, Carter Kundinger in the fight. They head through 3 and up to 4.
Beginning to set here at Laguna Seca with Jeff Arroyo in the lead. And Arroyo, how about this, going for 2 wins in a row?
That would be amazing. I mean, he started back in 10th spot. Oh, Kundinger, big dive up the inside of Crum, and he's through. 3 minutes to go. See if Crum can respond. It's not often you see someone actually get by Crum.
Ooh, Kundinger off in the dirt, gonna barely get back on.
And Kundinger will make that easy for him to go back through. Oh, did we miss something? Where's our leader?
Where's our leader?
He has been our leader?
Are you okay?
I'm not okay.
He went off in the final turn.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, side by side behind him.
Oh, this is going to be a mess. Into 11. I don't know what's going on in my head tonight. I completely forgot that. I didn't even know. It didn't even cross my mind that Rattray was the leader when I saw him spun out last time. So I didn't mentally put that in the bank that the leader had spun. I just saw that Rattray had spun. Oh, darn. And I didn't. So I'm sorry for that mental lapse there. That was a Vince Welch moment there, but it's fine. Throttling back up. 2 minutes to go. Next time by will be white flag. Where is your leader? He's broken away.
Yeah, I'm amazed that group. They got themselves sorted out by the time they got to the Andretti hairpin. They somehow didn't take each other out. Because luckily they were about to for a second. And they might hear. Here comes Johansson with a run on Snyder, trying to have a look here to the inside in turn 5. Barely going to make the move.
He was offset just enough to have a hole in the opening there.
Gonna stack them all back up here. A lot of fast guys in behind Snyder, Jansen, Crum, and Kundinger.
Kundinger and Crum will be real sick of each other by the end of this thing. Passing. Oh, big curb strike.
Oh, he turned him.
Snyder goes around in 6. And what was going to be a top 5 run will now not be. Mac, he hit the curb, and I think he slowed him up. Yeah. That's what got Johansson into him. Nothing Johansson really did wrong there. It's just the nature of the corner. You get that curb on the inside, it slows you up. Boom. Got him punted. He'll head down the hill. He's still got a top 10 spot. Buchanan's through to 8th after starting all the way back in 25th. So the same climb that Brian Sohn had? Who was it Brian Sohn or was it...
what, that start back in...
last race. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I think it was Sohn.
Final lap, white flag for the leaders, and Arroyo's already down in 3, and again, the teammate's going to sweep this one if they carry on through to the end. This is going to be a spectacular points night for Hefner, because Crum isn't going to gain any points on Hefner, so he won't resurge anything that he lost in race 1.
Again, Kundinger and Johansson fighting for 5th amongst themselves.
Kundinger off. He's, again, struggling with the same thing. We've seen a lot of drivers struggle with this getting to the dirt. Michael Bolden is spun in 14th. Johansson nice and smooth through 6.
Yeah,
5.
Trying to get the spot back from the 2.
Nice run through 6 now.
Vámonos. I'm amazed. This is a really solid run by him. I thought he would have drifted back, you know, into the later part of the top 10, but he's held on to third, so he's going to walk out here with the podium and hold on for 2 more corners.
Jeff Arroyan from 10th to 1st. He's going to pick up his 2nd victory on the night in SCRS Ferrari Challenge. Zach Hefner in the 51 goes through to 2nd. Christian Ost in 3rd. And Odyssey Adams Jr. on the final lap.
I don't know where this is.
This looks to be at the top of the hill here.
On the camera.
He's way off. And Michael Bolden's also off. And so is Thomas Cooper. This might have been a 3-car incident here. There's Bolden. There goes. He just understeered right off the track.
I wonder if he had a bad rejoin.
Does he rejoin right here? Oh, I'm sure he will. Oh, no, 3 separate incidents entirely.
He just found Cooper there.
Anyway, here's a look at your results before they go away. Drew Lidke outside the top 10 in 11th. Andrew Mickey down in 17th. Shabelski in 18th. But also, you just have to commend Zach Buchanan up to... Nope, not up to 5th. That's
it's doing the
correct. Yeah, he should have finished 8th, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Heat racing results are very wonky to look at.
That's definitely not changed Royan as your winner.
That's the right thing. Zach Buchanan back in 8th. Robert Rattray in 7th after his off. Kurt Crum up to 4th. Hundinger in 5th. That's a pretty good drive for the 2-car. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We got about a 10-minute break before we'll be back, so stick with us for race number 3 of SCRS Ferrari Challenge from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Stick with us. Weathertech Raceway Laguna Seca has been a phenomenal racetrack this evening for SCRS Ferrari Challenge. We've done 2 of our 3 races, and race 3 begins in just a moment, Finney. And this one a little bit longer. It's 20 minutes. We've seen a lot of issues down in the corkscrew for, of course, it's the most famous corner at this racetrack, and not because it's easy. But 20 minutes, 5 minutes longer, and who's our favorite? I'm solidly looking at Zach Buchanan as our favorites, but again, Zach Heffner and Jeff Royan have to be coming in.
Yeah, Royan obviously winning 2 of the 3 races. A really solid feat. We get to see someone, at least in this season, sweep all 3 races, which is going to be a hard thing to do, especially in this race. It was a little bit easier in the last race. to go from 10th to 1st, but now he's got to go from 20th to 1st. And I mean, you got that extra 5 minutes to work with, but that's still going to require a lot of effort, especially at a track like this where the passing is not easy. It's pretty hard to do. So it's going to be hard to overcome that deficit back in 20th. But still, I think even with that, he's can't be too disappointed out of walking out of here with 2 wins.
No, and take a look at the track conditions. A little bit darker out now. We're starting 10 minutes later in the night. So actually, it seems like that's not accurate. Was that right when you checked before? What time?
What do you mean?
When you looked at the track time, and I was curious. Oh, it's an hour later. So there's definitely an issue with heat races and time showing. So it's actually a little bit closer to 7 p.m., 7:20 p.m. right now.
It's getting pretty late, as we were saying, almost to the point where the lights will come on. At least for the cars. No.
Well, the lights are on.
That would be cool. They need to put lights around here. It costs way too much money to install.
They don't race here at night in real life because the homeowners here get all upset.
Screw the homeowners. They suck.
Well, your opinion's not even very popular with the Monterey Homeowners Association.
I don't want to be, because they're stupid people. They
let's move next to a racetrack and complain about the sound.
Yeah. Stupid. Anyway.
So, time to go racing for race 3. This one will be about 15 laps. And on the top of the grid, Thomas Cooper in the 584, Johnny Bell in the 72. So bad races that turned into fortuitous starting positions for race 3 tonight. So Cooper, Bell, Hartz, Odyssey Adams Jr. in 4th, Brian Shpelsky in 5th, Mickey, Bolden, Rodriguez, Morelli, and Lidkey are your top 10. Buchanan starts 13th, and this is the car I'm watching because he's one of the fastest drivers up here that I think has a legitimate chance to win this race. I think he is actually the lead driver of the ones that I expect could win. Although Odyssey Adams Jr., he qualified really well for race 1, and he's going to be starting in 4th. So if he can keep himself out of trouble, he'll be the one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him in race 2. No, Johnny Bell was the car that we saw that spun out. He's that black car. We had no idea who it was.
That's the one.
So found the victim or suspect. I don't know if he was the one that caused that or not. But yeah, so he's gonna be starting up in P2, but definitely the 22 Odyssey Adams again qualified up pretty well. Not sure what happened to him in race 2 to put him far back. I think he believed well, he's starting in 4th. He would have finished in 17th, so not sure what put him back there, but expecting some decent results. We see
that is Jeff Arroyan taking an EOL here.
No. I think so. To the back of the grid he will go. And lights actually on the track. They're actually illuminating the track. Kind of hard to tell, maybe from another angle.
The GT3 cars, the lights themselves. No, I don't think. Oh, they are.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Well, this shows up better on the stream because I have it color corrected.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see if I. It's not gonna.
Yeah, you have to catch it when it's like just at the end. Take my word for it.
Yeah. I was gonna say the GT3 cars. I think you mentioned earlier the lights come on. The GT3s, for some reason, the Ferrari. I think all the GT3 cars, the lights are always on. I think.
Well, yeah, because they have to be them.
I don't know. Is that a rule?
I think so. It's like they have to have at least like a daytime lights, which is I think usually
the DRLs.
Yeah, they're normal lights.
I
don't know if they have like how they have the fog lights. I don't think you need to have those on, but I think like the ones.
Oh, look at the sky. The curb just right there for Scoop. This is gonna be a cool shot. Get the sun in it.
Probably not.
No.
Actually, sun disappears. Literally disappears when the lights come on.
Darn. We'll head down the hill and we're off topic. Down the hill again for we've got a couple drivers that didn't take the grid. So Paul Darling never actually raced at all tonight. He will not start even race 3. Jonathan DeCouger will not race this race either. So we have 26 drivers on the grid for this third and final race. This is going to get really wild, turn 1 especially.
Yeah, but really interesting seeing how this race is going to unfold. Andrew Mickey too in the 86. He seemed like he had some decent pace and race well, but struggled in the second 2. But see how he does here as the pace car is going to pull off. Field's going to come out of the final turn and getting ready to go for 20 minutes.
And waiting for the green. There it goes. Green flag flies. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. SCRS Ferrari Challenge is green again.
Ooh, and already some door-to-door contact between Corey Hartz and Johnny Bell as they race down to turn 2.
Oh, car off on the inside lane, going to take the pit road, and this might be a good action just to stay out of trouble here, but no one's going to wad up, so he's certainly going to get a cut course and have to slow down and give all those spots back. Oh, 3 wide and off into the next corner. and Zach Buchanan's in the middle of that.
They're already up into 12th, maybe even 11th as he's trying to find a way around Brian Song. Going to work on the outside.
Real tight there through 3 and 4. But he'll make it through. So far, a very clean start to this third and final race. We saw a big pileup at Catalunya about halfway through the lap. I don't think we're going to see that unless we see one right there that was leaning on each other.
Yeah, well, that was as much as you could without wrecking one another. Now working through turn 6. Amazing, this is looking to be the cleanest start we've had all night.
No,
as you say that,
they're all stacking up. Lots of front to rear contact, but no spins down the hill for the first time. Oh, there we go. Thomas Cooper's around out of the lead.
And another one just looped around.
That's the leader. And Nicholas Morelli.
Yep.
So up for the lead, it's Corey Hartz and Odyssey Adams Jr. in the 22, then Shimelski in third. Oh, real tight there for the top spot there, Finney, and leaning on each other.
Yeah, and Ozzy Adams tried to get a run off the corner, but couldn't go anywhere with it. See everyone else work side by side. Some drivers trying to make up quite a few spots. Kurt Crum side by side with Shout, going to get past.
Andrew Mickey up to 4th, past Johnny Bell.
He looking to get a good finish at it tonight. There you see Michael Bolden in the 4, making a move to the outside. I believe that is either Litke or Rodriguez. That's Litke that he worked around.
And Rodriguez right in front of Buchanan here. We're riding on board with big lunge. Oh, he backed out just in time. Stomped on the minors and backed out of a situation that could have been real bad real fast. Oh, he's going to be a little wide. Oh, the car's off in front of him. That's Andrew Mickey.
Just as he moved up so many spots, he's going to drop back to about 10th place.
Isaac Snyder going to touch there, and he goes around in turn 5, right in front
of the field. He's going to be the only one involved, though. They just narrowly make it by. Wow.
And
great run for Buchanan.
Big run up the hill, and do they make it? They will.
Be side by side with Rodriguez, deep on the brakes into the corkscrew.
Now don't get the gravel on track out here, and he avoids it that time, and he's through.
Oh, and there you see Lidke making a move on
Johnny Bell.
Yep.
Bell's a little wide at the exit of 9, and Lidke's on the outside. Not really a great place to be if the inside driver slips up. Big lift. Buchanan's going to go 3 wide as they head down to 11. Going to get real tight. Wow, and Bell gets squeezed out. What a move by Buchanan.
Oh, he's going to get a nice run here off the final quarter to Lidke. So fantastic, aggressive move.
Odyssey Adams Jr. hitting pit lane. Not sure what that's for, but...
Oh!
And Lidke gets turned off and slams the barrier on the front straightaway.
Oh, man.
What happened there?
I don't know. I think...
Did he crowd him, maybe?
I think Lidke came up into Buchanan. Buchanan looked like he gave him room.
Well, let's go back and look. On the outside, heading down into the first, or turn 2, rather, did the 21 squeeze the 40. It's going to be hard to get a good angle of. I don't know.
Let's try on board with
the 72 of Johnny Bell. I wanted to ride on board and see what his perspective of this was. No, it's on the 21. He definitely came over. That was for sure on Lidke there. He just tracked over. I think he expected Buchanan to be all the way to the right, but you can't expect that. I mean,
especially if they're turning like that. Now Rattray working to the inside, and Buchanan going to dive up before they hit the corkscrew, and great pass by Rattray.
And down the hill. I'm sure race control will look at that because you never really like seeing incidents on straightaways, Finian, but it's pretty clear to me what happened there. 15 minutes to go. Corey Hartz continues to lead this race, and he's got an 8/10 of a second lead over Brian Shimelski, who might be able to sneak up there and grab a race win.
In behind, making a dive on Andrew Mickey.
Oh, that was tight.
Yeah, it's a tough corner to make a pass there because it's so tight on the entry. The outside lane sometimes has a better run off the corner. Better lane to run, so Mickey's going to hold the spot neat.
Or Trey take a dive on Johnny Bell. It looks like he will. And Buchanan sees the hole open. He's going to follow through. And right in front, that's the 4 car, Michael Bolden.
Bolden with a big mistake down in turn 2. That's going to cost him a lot of spots.
Yeah, he's stuck in the gravel again. Couldn't get back home.
And how about Chabelski? We saw him. He made a big mistake in the opening laps of race 2. He lost top position. Now he's got a shot at getting the lead back.
Corey Hartz leads the way, though. Where did he start? He started in 3rd spot.
Looking at their lap times, though, Corey Hartz ran a 24 flat to Chabelski's 23.1. So 9/10 faster for the 12 and is gaining some ground on the 57.
Into the corkscrew.
They also got a massive lead compared to everyone else. They're 7.5 seconds separated from 3rd. As you see, Buchanan and Rattray go side by side. Great fight.
And he's through to third, and this is the car that I'm watching. I know he's 7 seconds back, but 15 minutes of racing is a lot of time. And here comes Hefner in fifth. This is another car to watch for sure.
Yeah, it's a full normal race distance, 15 minutes, and they got that time to work with. They see Hefner now trying to make up some ground. Another car to watch.
On the brakes, into 11. Johnny Bell under attack from Teague Alge in the 13, trying to recover from his crash in race 1. Gets a little slippery slidey on the AstroTurf there, but for the lead, Shavelski all over Corey Hartz for that top spot.
I feel like this might be kind of easy for Shavelski here. Made up some solid time on Hartz again last lap through. Now looking at that's Kurt Crum in the 87 to the inside of Teague Alge.
Brakes glowing on the 87 as he load up the car for the corner. Throttles back up, he'll have a look at Johnny Bell into 4, tucks back in line. This is why these races are so interesting, because you have like drivers that are at the top of the points battling with drivers that are not anywhere near that. So you're around people that you're not familiar with. Ben Shout in the 66 has gone around. He's had a really rough night here.
Yeah, it's going to continue like that. He's trying to get back up to speed here, but back in 19th, dropping down to 20th. Here we're looking at Hefner making a move on Rattray for 4th.
And Hefner's actually getting held up here pretty significantly, so I think for Buchanan this bodes well if he can have a time to drive away. Now, he hasn't gained that much on Shavelski and Hartz, only about a 10th since we last checked in. Johnny Bell's around.
Get the car back going again, but was running really well now. Going to drop back some contact on the back.
Cooper around again.
That was
when the corkscrew claims you.
That was the same exact spot he was in at the end of race 2.
Yeah, again, the corkscrew claims you. It claims you more than once.
Oh, and a mistake from Hartz is going to easily get the lead to Shavelski down in turn 2.
And that might be all she wrote for Corey Hartz unless he can battle back. But here's Buchanan, 6.9 back, 5.9 back, gained a full second in the first sector there.
Yeah, I think, although I think this might not be that easy now with the 12. Shavelski's got some decent pace. He's probably one of the best AM drivers in the field. So he's going to try to drive away from everyone else. I don't know if Buchanan's got enough time to catch him and make the pass, especially dealing with these guys in behind.
Yeah, we got Rattray and Hefner in line, and Hefner's going to have a look to drivers left, up the inside, brakes glowing, and he'll go through to 4th, and that's really dangerous for everybody in front of this 51, because he's coming.
That light bulb's really nice.
It does. The lights look really good in general right now. Turned on my anti-aliasing before tonight's stream. I could go a little higher, so I went there. At the expense of a little bit of performance, but it looks nice.
Worth it.
Buchanan gains another half second in sector 2. Vostrel and Sohn, teammates into the corkscrew. Oh, up the inside went, that's actually a lap down car. That's Rodriguez. No, he's not a lap down. That's not Rodriguez.
It's Lidke.
It is Lidke. Lidke is a lap down.
Not sure how he ended up like that.
So Shavelski continues the lead. As a whole, Buchanan's back 6.1 seconds, and that's the number that matters, but you see Hefner closing.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Buchanan really didn't make up a whole lot of time that entire lap. They were about 6 seconds the gap to the lead when they were through the section last lap on. So Hefner now, as we were talking about, he's closing to Buchanan, and this is going to be a threat. They're going to battle it out for 3rd.
And look at Hefner's last lap. It was his best, a 122.8. For Buchanan, a 122.8 as well. Yeah. Also his best lap.
A little bit slower, but only by 100th of a second. So both these guys are very equal on pace. Still think Hefner's got a faster car than the 40.
Keeping an eye on that gap. It's down about another half second since the start of the lap. But Corey Hartz has dropped about 1.8 off, and they have to get to Hartz before they can get to Shavelski. And you're right, Finney, I think they started off with a real strong run, but I'm not sure that they can get back with Brian out front.
Yeah, this is too much time. If they had another 20 minutes left, I think they would have had enough time to get back up. But 10 minutes is just going to be a little bit too short, as you see Rattray and Alge side by side.
A bit of a trouble up at the top of the hill here. It looks like Michael Bolden's gone around again. And Rodriguez has also reset back to pit lane, so 9 minutes to just under 10 minutes to go. Shavelski leads by 2.2 seconds. It's 5.7 back to Buchanan, and another 1 second back to Zachary Hefner. Hafner's closing in. Buchanan, yeah, I might actually complete this pass before they catch Corey Hartz. Another best lap for Hafner, that time through a 1:22.6. For Buchanan, another 1:22.6. They're just matching each other tit for tat right now as they run up to the corkscrew.
Still not able to get the job done.
Yeah, they're actually not closing on Shabelski at all right now. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah. And they have a bit, but
it's slightly,
by
not this
a
lap.
tenth,
yeah,
maybe.
That's negligible. And see, as
they need to be closing in seconds at this point.
Yeah. 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Kurt Crum is up to 7th place, but all the points he's losing to Hafner and Ifini, where's that going to put us? Because Hafner still has.
Oh, I think he's going to take the points. I think with the points he earned in race 1 alone, I think that would have been enough to overcome the deficit. And I think these 2 races should probably sort it out. With him in the lead, if not extremely close.
It just goes to show you how close things are even this late in the season.
I think Carter Kundinger is going to drop a little bit out of that fight, so we're really going to kind of settle our eyes on Crum and Hafner for the championship fight.
Kundinger back in 14th spot, started in 16th, has a little bit of damage on that car. Peter Voschel up inside the top 10. He's had a good week last week in Barcelona and having a decent week here, at least in race 3.
Yeah, currently sitting in the top 10 as a shot at getting
24th tonight.
Oh, look at also behind him, a great battle going on.
Ray and Stone, oh, real tight into 5.
Still side by side. Someone's got a yield going down into turn 6.
Oh, gonna crowd him over. Does Rattray? They're gonna try this? No, this is why, again, if you have the nose ahead, I like turn 6 as a place to defend. It also leaves you susceptible to the driver behind, which is Jeff Royan.
Royan not able to capitalize, had an EOL that he took. Hasn't quite been able to recover as well as his teammate that started early, further up.
Seven minutes left in this race.
Whoa, Rodriguez around in front.
That's actually Teague Algie, the 13 car.
Hard to tell, it's dark. It's dark out.
And the lead lap. Was there contact? He just went around in a zone. Here's the look. It's already sideways off into the corner and just slid around. And wow, Rattray did a great job. Let's actually right on board here with Rattray as he was following this.
Oh, man.
Oh,
wow.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Really pretty out there as well, but here comes Stone to the inside. They're not looking at the sky, they're looking at the racetrack.
Yep.
Door to door as they head to 4.
And Stone gonna have an advantage, gonna clear Rattray before they get there. Whoa, right around!
Oh, that's gonna be a hard hit too. Bounces right back towards traffic.
Whoa!
That was
I don't know if he was trying to back up on purpose just for that, or just to get himself enough room to turn around, but wow.
There's another look at this.
Let's try to onboard for a second here just to see how close that was, Jim. Oh!
I wonder if it was as close looking from Morelli's on board.
I think so.
But yeah, it's still pretty close. Let's try to onboard one more time from the inside of this car. Oh. Good thing he backed up, I'll tell you that. If he had gone forward, it would have been game over. Well, Zach Buchanan is now 4.2 seconds back. Corey Hartz has made a mistake, and he's dropped his way out at the top 3.
Still though, looking for a really solid finish for himself in 4th. He can hold on for the next 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes though. Again, now they haven't made up as much time as I would have expected, or needed them to have a legitimate shot. But 3.9 seconds is doable. But you have to make up almost a second a lap. But that requires, if Shabelski makes one mistake, you're gonna be right back in the mix here. So
and if I'm him, I would just turn it back just a little bit, maybe give up go about 0.2 a lap slower than he normally would, just to, especially through some tricky corners like the corkscrew.
Well, Buchanan's on it. Oh, he's pushing it.
I mean, might as well. For
he doesn't have anything else. I mean, you might as well. He's not going for points. He just wants the race win.
Yep. So he's just pushing to try to catch Mr. Shabelski, and actually, it looks like Shabelski's making the gap back out for secondary.
Yeah, no, it was just the corkscrew always messes with the relatives. Yeah. Because
So-
you're actually, for a moment, you're actually not traveling forward relative to everybody else. You're traveling down and sideways, so it really messes with the timing.
So back at the line, and Chbosky a little bit faster that last time through for him, and
So Buchanan ran at 1:22.5 for Chbosky. Oh, that's actually significant. It's a 6/10 gap. It's not going to be enough at that pace, but it goes to show you it's going to get closer, and it's going to make Chbosky more nervous. And I think that's what we have to pay attention to, is how much pressure Chbosky's feeling.
well, talking about Chbosky is he's going for his third win in the SCRS Ferrari Challenge. Had 2 wins last season, which we didn't cover. It was in the part of the season we didn't cover. So he took 2 wins. One of them was at Road America, and the other one at Belle Isle.
It's a 3.1 second gap. He's kind of back. It seems like he's backed it down, but Buchanan's gone up. He's really making up a lot of speed. He can see it. He can taste it. It's so close, but 3 minutes, 40 seconds left.
Great
That's
line.
3 laps.
Great line through 6. That's a difficult corner to nail.
Here's the down the hill of corkscrew. Can't mess this up.
Yeah, this is the corner he's been struggling with the most. He's got a great line going, though.
Oh, yeah, that was a really solid run through there. 2.9 seconds now. He's making up a lot of time.
He's pulling out away from Hefner.
Yeah, that's actually the even more impressive part. Is we've seen
Well,
how good
granted-
Hafner is,
yeah.
and he's just driving away.
Yeah, granted, I think Hefner is just, I think he figures, it's kind of pointless going back up for the lead. I think he's just going to settle, take a 3rd place, and leave.
So
with that,
is this actually? So yes, this will be 3 to go, and if Chbosky were to back it down, it would be 2 to go. It would be close to it, but he can't afford to back it down. So 3 minutes. These are just under a minute and a half laps.
oh yeah, no, yeah, he can't back it up enough.
Yeah. So Buchanan now 2.9 back, and probably going to be about 2.5 back when we come to 2 to go. It's going to get closer and closer and closer. It's all about how much pressure Buchanan can put on. His last lap, a 1:22.6.
It also got to be too about him if he doesn't make a mistake, because you've seen him make already, I think 3 times he's gone around on the corkscrew. So as long as he doesn't make that same mistake, he could be a threat here for the win still.
Oh, he's a little wide, but he carried pretty good speed through there, all things considered. And Chbosky definitely has backed it down. A 23.3 is not quick enough to hang on to this if he continues to run that, and Buchanan keeps making up the time that he is. So I think Chbosky's got to pick up the pace a little bit if he doesn't really want to have to deal with the 40 on that last lap. Two minutes to go. This time through will be 2 laps left for Brian Chbosky. Rory Hartz has spun at the bottom of the hill, and he's going to lose a lot of positions here because he's backwards. It's going to be difficult.
Oh boy.
Difficult rejoin. Looks like he'll be able to do it.
I think he took advantage. He was looking at the relative, found a spot in traffic.
Good
That's
boy.
a really convenient tool to have in a situation like that.
Peter Vostrol has disappeared off the timing and scoring screen,
Yeah.
so not sure what's up with that. 2 laps to go, though, for the leaders, and it's a 2.4 second gap. That time was a 23.3, and for Buchanan, a 22.8, so Zach slowed down about 0.3 of a second.
So at this rate, Chbosky still got it. I mean, he's
It's
looking
going to be close, though.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I think that Buchanan would probably need another lap or 2 to catch back up. And again, we're also looking at Chbosky a little bit off the pace. He's not completely pushing.
Right.
So,
Well, again, if you push big time, the chances that you make a mistake significantly rise. Now it's down to 2 seconds flat. I really think Zach's gaining a lot in that first sector, which is really where Chbosky is losing his time. There's your leader, and there's 2nd place, cresting the hill.
gave up quite a bit of time there alone.
A 1.4, but again, it's going to... Oh, now it's down to 1.
Yeah. So he gave up a lot
Oh,
of
it's
time.
going to be close, Finian. We're going to be white flag this time through. Top 3 separated by 1.8 seconds. The top 2 by 1 second. White flag in the air for SCRS Ferrari Challenge. Race number 3 of the night from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Chbosky has 2.2 miles left to get the job done, but Buchanan is right behind.
1 second there. Yeah, Chbosky almost ran a 24-second lap. So yeah, that was really far off than what he was normally been doing here. Now Buchanan just got to hit his marks. Chbosky also got to hit his marks and keep that 40 in behind.
Yeah, really, the question is if Buchanan can be within striking distance by turn 9, he can set up a pass in 11. Look, he gained 0.3 in that corner alone. He's a half a second back. This is where he's gaining all this time if he can be on his bumper.
Got a little bit of tight coming off of 5.
0.6 back. Into the braking zone for 5, Chbosky. A little slow, but he gets it right. So does Buchanan a little bit wider.
Yeah, I don't think Buchanan's going to be close enough unless Shavelski makes a big mistake down in 6 here. No, great line for the 12.
They're going to crest the hill with 6/10 between them. There they are. Buchanan into the braking zone. Oh, he's way deep. The brakes red hot. He's close. He's within 0.3 of a second now as they head down the hill. He's going to be close enough for a lunge if he can close up another 10th here. I don't know. It's going to be real tight.
I don't know. Yeah,
2/10.
Last corner, here they come. One more shot. He can send a Hail Mary. Hefner out in the sand.
Can't do it. He's there. Not quite, though. Checkered flag waves for Brian Shavelski. Last season, none of his wins made it to air. This one will. Shavelski wins race 3 from Laguna Seca, and well done by Zach Buchanan, because you know where he started tonight, Finian? How about 13th spot. I thought
still impressive though.
It was still impressive.
Yeah, still a good class.
I was getting confused with race 2.
Yeah, no, but still a really solid job. Drove his butt off, and unfortunately, I think he probably needed another lap to get the job done. But still, I don't think should be disappointed. Second, that was a fantastic drive. After up in third.
Corey Hart's made it back to 7th. That's a really strong run.
After 2 spins.
So well done there. So. Race results for the third and final race of the night. Shavelski, Buchanan, Hefner, Crum, Johansson, Ost, Hartz, Kundinger, Brian Sohn, Andrew Mickey. Then back through 11th through 20th. Morelli, Bell, Rattray, Odyssey Adams Jr., Ben Shout, Terry Newmaster, Steve Bunting, Isaac Snyder, Jeff Verroyen in 19th. That's not a race that he wants to...
I was going to say, he made a mistake. He was running pretty solidly, almost around the 10th place spot. That's where I thought he would have finished, but... Yeah, so another mistake going to put him back in 19, so not, and Boss Stroll too, we saw him disappear off the timing and scoring was set for a good finish, so he's going to finish in 24th.
All right, so checkered flag falls in another round of SCRS Ferrari Challenge. We'll be back in just a minute to talk to our podium finishers. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV and SCRS Ferrari Challenge from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Here now with Zachary Hefner in the 51. Zach, tonight, some really solid runs. I think you got to be really proud of this evening. Kept yourself out of trouble, and 3 really solid finishes. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, just all really good. Like, obviously, no wins, but you can't win them all. 2 seconds and a third, I think, was I was trying to go for the 3 seconds, but I couldn't get it at the end. Race 1, avoiding that turn 1 wreck. Race 2, avoiding everybody that seemed to have trouble in front of me for whatever reason, and kind of just weeding through the field. And then that race 3 was just extra special of race 2.
This racetrack tonight seemed like it was really catching people off guard, especially through the corkscrew. What were the grip levels like out there, and was the gravel and dirt on track kind of affecting that at all?
It's very slippery, especially I noticed it first couple laps through practice. You could not throttle out very hard of the corkscrew, just very slippery, and just making sure your throttle inputs weren't, more than 50% through there seemed to be the trick. But yeah, it was a very slippery track, it seemed like, but as the night progressed, the races progressed, the car seemed to kind of come to life more and more and more and allow to get through those corners. A lot of trail braking.
All right, hey Zach, nice runs tonight in your number 51 car. We look forward to seeing you back next week.
Will be.
All right. Now to Zach Buchanan in the number 40 car, the Project 2 vehicle. Zach, tonight was up and down for sure. Races 1 and 3, really solid. Race 2, though, some issues. Actually, race 2 was the one that was better. It was race 1 where we had the offs, but the corkscrew caught you out a couple times. The gravel certainly slippery. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, this track is another one to add to my list of races that prove that this track is just not one of my favorites. I don't run well here. And I I make a lot of mistakes at this track. I even had a spin in the corkscrew in the second race, but I'm glad I could bring home a good result in the last race and nearly get that win.
Yeah, walk us through those last couple laps trying to chase down the leader there, Brian Chabelski. You're obviously closing big time. Did you think you were going to make it? And what was that last lap like when you realized you were going to be close enough to at least have a shot?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't think I'd be that close at the beginning of the last lap, especially with about 8 minutes to go. I think there was a 6 or so second gap to Brian. I started catching up to him, and I think he made a couple mistakes in the closing laps, which is why I was so close in the end. But I didn't think I could make it, and yeah, it turns out second was the best I could do. But it was close, and yeah, Brian did a good job of fighting us off, and Zach really did put the pressure on behind me.
A solid run again by the Project 2 driver, Zach Buchanan. Zach, hopefully we'll see you around for more. You've obviously got an affinity for these cars. You're running really solid right out of the gate, so we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Jeff Arroyan won a couple races tonight, and race 3 didn't quite go your way, but you got to be really satisfied either way with the night that she had in races 1 and 2, Jeff.
Yeah, no, race 3, I was honestly, I was a little unsatisfied. I kind of screwed up. I tried to push through the field, didn't really work that well. But yeah, I mean, race 1 and 2, that was a very, very good result. I mean, teammate got P2 in both of those as well and got pole, so that was a good sweep there.
This racetrack this evening was covered in dirt pretty much every race tonight. Was that affecting the grip level at all, or was it pretty much the same through all 3 races?
Yeah, so I think the way that the admins have it set up, from my understanding, is that I think Heat 1 has, I think it's carried over from qualifying and practice, and then Heat 3 is not. I think it's a reset, so every single time basically go into Heat 1 and Heat 3, it seems like the grip resets, and so you probably see a lot of dust in the track and all that kind of stuff, so it gets...
Solid night for you, Jeff. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep, talk to you next week.
All right. Hey, Brian. Well, last season you won a couple races and none of them got airtime. Well, tonight's did, and it was a close one. The last lap there, a couple mistakes brought Zach Buchanan right up to your rear bumper. Walk us through that epic chase to the very end here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
Oh my goodness, it was just hold on, don't make any big mistakes, no big offs, don't like throw your car into the gravel. I made a couple of small ones. Car got a little loose on me here and there, a little wiggly, and I just had to catch it. And I knew if I had a gap coming out of the corkscrew that I was probably pretty good to get to the line in first, and that was all I was really trying to do, is make sure that the Zacks were sufficiently far behind coming out of the corkscrew, and they were, and I was like kind of waiting to see if there would be a move, like a really poor move on the inside there, but there wasn't. Zachary did. I think he was thinking maybe he was going to try a pass, but he realized, I think afterward, that it was going to work, and just kind of stuck the second. So I appreciate that. I appreciate both of them they did a really good job chasing me down there, and I just appreciate that they did a really nice job at the end of not like doing anything too crazy.
Brian, it's good to talk to you, and good to talk to you in Victory Lane. Hopefully we'll see you here some more, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. I'm getting used to this. I like it.
All right, Brian, have a great night.
Yep.
That's going to wrap up the interviews here for SCRS Ferrari Challenge this evening from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Finian's already gone up to do his league race, so I'm all by myself, but that's gonna wrap up the show here at a very dark end of the night here from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. My name is Kyle Heyer. I was joined earlier by Finian Nakuna. We'll see you tomorrow night on Speed51.com for the next round of the Elite Racing League IndyCar Challenge, which will be at Iowa Speedway tomorrow night at 7:30. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.